It is official. Casper will receive smart contracts and 2 token standards as soon as next month. Right now, we actually have a closed beta phase, and soon we will hear about the official release. The whole Casper community was waiting for this because this means there's even more utility on Casper, and most likely it'll push price even further up. What is there to know about all of this? I'll show you all the information that are available right now. And of course, we will also look at the price and do some technical analysis. So without any further ado, let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Phil Prince, your one and only stop for crypto finance and trading. Smart contracts were part of the discussion when it comes to Casper, but wasn't really sure when could we see them. Are they even a priority? Because in the end, Casper is mostly about being digital silver, meaning a circulative digital currency. So Casper really intends to be what Bitcoin wanted to be, meaning a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, as it says in the Bitcoin white paper. Now fast forward, Bitcoin became digital gold, meaning a store of value. But now with smart contracts coming to Casper, this opens up a whole new world, because this would mean that we have an ecosystem, meaning multiple additional tokens and projects that build on top of the Casper blockchain, or in this case, better to say, the Casper block DAG. More about this and the technology behind Casper in my in-depth Casper review. I will link it here in the top. Now, who's responsible for the development of the smart contracts on Casper? Well, this is the CEF, the Casper Ecosystem Foundation. And this foundation provides funding, resources, and guidance. And it upholds impartial principles to support the Casper ecosystem and advance its mission of becoming a widely used currency for everyday transactions. So in short, it aims to build a real ecosystem around Casper, hand in hand with the community and developers. So this is just the beginning of what they're doing and planning. As you can see here, they are currently planning smart contracts and are actively developing kasplex. And kasplex is basically the project that will enable the token protocol and trading standard on Casper. And smart contracts, on the other hand, are in the planning phase. They're not yet being developed. All right, so what's the difference between these two things? Now, if we have a look at the website of Kasplex, you can see this is the first protocol for the Kaspa ecosystem. And they've already developed in April the KRC20 token protocol. Right now we're in the closed beta phase, and next month in June we'll get the additional KRC721 protocol, and we'll finally be able to buy KRC20 and KRC721 with the Kaspa coin. So if you know Ethereum, you know that the tokens on Ethereum are called ERC20, which sounds similar to KRC20. ERC stands for Ethereum Request for Comments. And then once again on Ethereum, we have ERC721, and this is the standard that enables NFTs. And similarly, the KRC721 protocol will enable NFTs on Casper. All right, but how is it possible that we're getting these two protocols in June, but the smart contracts are not yet in development? They are in the planning phase. Well, as we can see here in this FAQ about Kasplex on the official Casper website, the KRC tokens are more like inscriptions. And there's actually more similar to what we have on the Bitcoin blockchain. So I'm sure you've heard about it. For about a year, we have ordinals on Bitcoin. This means the single Satoshis on the Bitcoin blockchain can be inscribed with additional information. And through some technological magic, this allows us to create tokens on the native Bitcoin blockchain without smart contracts, as well as NFTs. Now, what's important to mention here is that the KRC20 tokens are inscribed on-chain, fully on the Kaspa block DAG. Whereas the KRC721 tokens, meaning the NFTs, are not fully on-chain, meaning you have to upload the metadata on IPFS, Interplanetary File System. And this is similar to Ethereum NFTs. And as it says here, Kasplex is also an infrastructure for some layer 2 solutions. And to me, that sounds like the smart contracts will be integrated with Kasplex. The thing is, at this very moment, it's not fully clear how this will be implemented. Because as you can see here, in the course of this month, we will get the white paper, and it's not yet published. We're only getting some hints in this FAQ section here. And from what I can read here, it also seems like the KRC20 inscriptions are not completely similar to the Bitcoin inscriptions. Because as they say here, we do not adopt the method-like logic ordering system or color coin. Furthermore, it says here, there is no connection between SOMPs, meaning the smallest denomination of a Kaspa coin, similar to a Satoshi on the Bitcoin blockchain. And by the way, these are not called zombies anymore. Now they are named Dwork. So there's no connection between these Dworks and the inscriptions, which is an obvious difference to the KRC20 standard, meaning the ordinals on the Bitcoin blockchain. Therefore, it seems we will not see inscriptions that are more rare than others, because if a Bitcoin ordinal is inscribed on a Satoshi that is pretty old or has some kind of cool number, like 11111, these ordinals are basically more rare and traded at a high price. So this won't be the case on Kaspa, the KRC20 token standard either. Furthermore, they say they will not create their own marketplace for these tokens, which means we will most likely see a flood of new marketplaces pop up, similar to OpenSea and Magic Eden and so on. And last but not least, they say here Kasplex is a non-profit project, so they don't charge any fees. But of course, there is additional gas fees for token deployment or minting, which in the end increases the miner's income. So that sounds pretty cool actually. Of course, we don't have all the information available at the moment. I will make another video when the white paper will be published. I am thrilled to see how they are implementing this from a technological standpoint. All right, now with that in mind, let's continue to have a look at the price chart of Kaspa and a short, mid and long-term price prediction. But before that, please make sure to enter my Telegram group, which comes with one of my trading indicators and a 1-hour trading course that explains it and helps you to build your own strategy for free. I want my community to thrive. Secure your spot while it's still free. This may change for new members in the future. Link is down below. All right. From my prior videos about Kaspa, you know that I am looking at this curve right here. Every financial asset that has a fixed supply and has to be mined, meaning the fixed supply will gradually be released onto the market, will show up in this kind of curve structure. So you can see this with gold, you can see this with Bitcoin, and of course you can see this with Casper as well. My last Casper video actually talked about if we can hold the curve. And as you can see, no, we couldn't, but this is not a problem at all. The thing is, the way how to draw this curve is not set in stone. This is not an exact science. We have a limited set of touch points that we can connect. And so it comes that additional touch points will change the way of the curve a little. And if we adjust this now to these new touch points here, you can see that this actually creates more touch points with prior lows here. So these touch points here, we didn't have them on the curve before. So as price moves on, we will get to the trajectory of this curve more and more precisely. And of course, this also influences the potential macro top. If you go back to my in-depth Casper review, I explained that this here is our potential top area based on a lot of factors. I explained all of that in this video. Also depends on how long the cycle will be. So this will be end of 2025. If the cycle is to end before that, so maybe end of this year, for example, or first quarter of 2025, this will of course impact the market top area. Now, the next big move up will actually tell us what to expect, because if we go as far as the current curve, we likely don't have to change the trajectory of the top curve here. Otherwise, this could mean that we have to adapt this as well. And then the lower end target here, so $3.40, is more likely. For the short term midterm, I have very good news, because we don't just have to look at this curve, but we can use my indicator, more specifically the Philprints reversal bands. And as you can see here, the Philprints reversal bands beautifully gave us multiple local bottoms. And before that, the golden line here acted as very strong support, and the blue line for bullish retests. Also for this week, the reversal bands were very informative. Same goes for sideways ranges here, as you can see, and most importantly, to find out when we could expect a bigger retracement. Plus, you can see very important support and resistance zones, because the first time we close below these bands here, after a very vertical trend that kept us inside of these bands, this is the point where we should take a look, because here, as you can see, we closed below, but then pumped up right after. And so at this very point here, we knew we will go further up. We won't have a correction here. The next time we close below is here. First, we got a bounce, but couldn't establish a new high. And after days of consolidation, we broke below, and therefore we knew this uptrend is over. We will go down, or at least have a consolidation. And as you can see here, we had a consolidation, and with a wick corrected down to the Philprints reversal bands here. And also, surprise, surprise, to this level. So these levels that are established through monitoring candle closes outside of the Phil Prince reversal bands, these are super important. And as you can see, even months later, these levels are super important support and resistance zones still. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please ask yourself why, and do it now. You really don't want to miss any of the next videos. As always, this was not financial advice. This was Phil Prince for you. Until next time, crush the markets. Goodbye.